Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Elevate, our fourth installment. Welcome to Elevate. So, we always give about 2-3 minutes for everybody to get on. I just wanted to tell everybody thanks for joining us. Definitely look forward to today's session, How to Slay Vision Vampires. How to Slay Vision Vampires. So today, I'm really looking forward to this. Wanted to welcome everybody, those who have taken a portion of their day and decide to sit in with us as we go over this. I always say it's the favorite part, my favorite part. Mother Brenda, hello, hello, hello. It's good to see you. Good to see you on How to Slay Vision Vampires. So we always do our housekeeping stuff in the beginning so that we give time for people to come on and to catch up with some of the kind of get an idea of some of the stuff we do. Most of you know me. For those that don't, I'm Curtis Carr. I've been in leadership for over 30 years. I've been in a training capacity for over 15. So I don't mean training where I just strictly train, but you lead and you train. And I'm the founder of E.L.E.V.A.T.E, and we kind of go over this every week. But hey, Miss Auntie Stephanie, and she already did it already. So we always like to shout out the city. She said Pflugerville's in the house. Tamika. Oh, my son is on. Can't believe it. Most of the time he has his own thing going on at this time. So appreciate JoJo getting on. But at this time, we usually just talk about what Elevate is all about. The E is Elevate's an acronym. So the E is for expectations. The L is for leadership. The second E is for ethics. The V is for vision. The A is for attitude. And the T is for temperaments. The last E is for effectiveness. So that's the acronym. And basically what we are is a consulting agency. And who are we here for? Well, we're here for the individual, the person that's just want to develop themselves, personal development. We work with them. We also, maybe you're an existing leader or a new leader and you want to kind of get some tools to be more effective. You want to affect your pay, your income. You want to make more money, and you really feel fulfilled by leading teams, but you also want to make more money. Let's just be real with it. And there's a huge market. It's a huge market for those that because every industry is always looking for leaders. I think the first session we talked about how they listed the top 10 dangers of a society. And number one was nuclear war. They said, man, we just blow each other up. It'd be devastating. That's the end of a society. Biggest danger to a society. Number two, they said pandemic or epidemic comes through. A disease comes and wipes everybody out. But number three, the number three danger to a society is a decline in leadership. So every organization is looking for leaders, people that can help get them there. So very important. So if you're that person, existing or new leader, we're here for you. This is what we do. We do consulting on that level. Maybe you are a business owner and you just have a new startup. Maybe you don't know how to do a business plan. Maybe you don't know how to do marketing, or you're trying to do effective marketing. Or maybe your day-to-day is not as strong as you would like it to be. That's what we're here for, that consulting agency for that area too. Maybe you are a leader or an employer and you just want somebody to come in and work with your teams and do some dynamic interactive sessions with them. We do that too. We are a consulting agency. So very happy for you guys to be here. Like I said, this is our fourth one, and How to Slay Vision Vampires is what we're going to be talking today. But I also wanted just to remind people, if you can please like and share. So this web space, this is what it's all about. If you can please like and share. And it's funny because we're trying to increase our shares, so we're trying to figure out ways to do it. And one of the ideas we came up with is to hit a bell every time somebody shares, but we figured it would be too distracting, so we're not going to do it. But that's how important the likes and shares are. If you can like and share, it really helps to get the word out. We're not a multi-million-dollar company yet, so we don't have commercials on TV. But when we do, it's going to be because of you guys that liked and shared in the beginning. So Please like and share. College Station in the house. College Station in the house. Austin, Texas in the house. But also, how do we do it? So you say, we're a consulting agency. So what's the secret sauce? What do you guys do? If I sign up for either your strategy session, one of your free ones or your paid ones, what do I get? So what we start off with, Miss Ann, we talked to hello. You don't even have to list the city. College Station again in the house. We had a great talk. Miss Alec, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Joseph has shared. Thank you. Boy, I got this bell right here. I sure want to hit it, but I'm not going to hit it because my wife gets extremely irritated with the bell. She gets extreme. I've never even seen her upset before until I brought out that bell. I saw a whole new side of her. So we will leave the bell in the drawer. So anyway, what do we do? What we do is we start off with a questionnaire and assessment. So just so you can get a taste of behind the scenes before we get into this, so you can get a taste of behind the scenes what we do.
That's my godfather.
Ambrose, Mr. Ambrose Kearney. Hello.
Ooh,
She said, make sure I tell you hi. I've never met you, but it's nice we're going to go to Austin here like really soon. So we're going to have to make sure we come by and see you. Thank you for being here. So, but what we do is we do a questionnaire and a strategy session. And just to kind of give you an idea, the questionnaire is going to ask you things about. I'll give you a couple questions real quick so it says stuff like, what do you want? That's what we want to know, because you must want something to get a consulting agency, right? That's one of the questions. There's about 13 of them, but I'm not going to go through all of them. But there's another question that says, what do people you trust say about you? So the whole idea of this questionnaire is to get to know you better, because we need to know so that we can effectively get you to where you want to be, or help get you to where you want to be. Because no doubt about it, you're going to do it. You're going to do most of the work, but we're going to help you get there by guiding and giving instructions and making sure that we're transparent and using lifelong experience. One day I was going to add all the experience we have between the three of us that run this company, but it's over 100 years of experience in different arenas too. So that's one of the two of the questions. How do you relate with others, which is very important, especially if you're in a leadership capacity. But that's one of the questions, strategy questions. We have strategy questions for leaders. We got strategy questions for individuals. And then we have assessments. So these are assessments for individuals, assessments for leaders. So it'll be like grade yourself 1 to 10 on your emotional discipline. Grade yourself from 1 to 10. Are you organized? Grade yourself from 1 to 10 on, are you excellent at goal setting? So we're going to get a real good idea of who you are by the time you fill out these assessments. And one of the first assessments that I haven't even talked about is a temperament assessment. That's really going to help us, because we use the T in E.L.E.V.A.T.E as temperament. So basically there's 4 basic temperaments, and one's a pusher, one's passive, one's perfectionist, and one's a people person. Now everybody's a blend, but those different temperaments, you have to do things a little bit different based on your temperament. It's just where your strength is, operating out of your strength. So we do a temperament assessment so we can see where you are and who you are. So that's how it works. We do a questionnaire, and we do we call Alex Hamilton Big Daddy Kane. And just a quick story. It's hard to stay on track when you see these names up here. It is amazing. My dad is in the house. He just left. My mom and dad came to visit us this weekend. We had a good time. They went to the park with us, and it was super hot. It was Kai's birthday, so we did paintballing, and they sat out there like a champ, and it was 96 in the shade. So we thank you for coming out for sure. Jennifer Harper, thank you. Now back to Alex Big Daddy Kane. So when I was in high school, there was a rapper called Big Daddy Kane, the real popular guy, and Alex Hamilton looked just like him. So my whole life, I think I forgot his last name for a while, because he's just Big Daddy Kane to me. But I really appreciate him coming on. Very, very appreciate him. So anyway, we do the questionnaire, we do the assessments, and we really get an idea of who you are. We ask you some very, very key questions to get you to be honest about your situation and what is it that you're really having challenges with, so that you can get over the hump. This is not once you get past This is probably the most fluff we'll ever be, and that's on a Facebook Live. But once we get in and we get down and dirty, we get it done. We're going to find out what you need to get done. And if you're saying you want it, if you want it, we can get you there. I promise you that, if you want it. So bottom line is, what else we do? We offer free strategy sessions. We have an ebook where we cover leadership, overcoming challenges, and how to having the proper perspective in life. And basically, it's a quote book, and then we provide commentary. And what we're doing today is for today only, we're doing 20% off. So you can go to the website, and I'm sure my wife is probably already putting the link on already. But you can go to the website and you can get that book. It's an ebook. We also have the website's going to be up right now. It's a splash page, but we're going to have a full-blown website up as soon as we finish going through the little details with the company. And then we're also going to have Elevate the book. So e-courses are coming up. We're about 3 weeks away from having e-courses where you don't have to wait till 7 p.m. to get the tidbits. You can actually go through a full-fledged e-course on anytime you want by purchasing the e-course. And there'll be 2 levels to that e-course. Starting off it'll be 1, but we're also going to have a second level. So Miss Karen Peterson, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. So we're about 7:13, and I was kind of going to give you how we handle the our little way we do things here. And I got to move some papers around real quick. But before we go into content, I want to just talk about how we do things on Facebook. We really depend on the interaction. I thank you guys for typing in and responding. That's very important because it's interactive, and it's really fun for me to see your comments. So, and I try to make sure that I comment on every one of you guys' comments. So my wife says she's watching, and that's funny. So yeah, my wife is watching, y'all. She's here from Houston. All right. So anyway, we depend on the comments. We're always going to be done by 7:30. We're about 15 minutes away. Like I said, I plan to read every comment. And what we do is, like today, we're encouraging everybody to take notes. It's not going to be a lot, but it's just a good habit to have. Those that are really, trying to get something out of this, take some notes, because what we're going to talk about is how to slay vision vampires. All right. So, what are vampires? Vampires, we see them on TV in the movies. They come and they get them by the neck, and next thing you know, they suck the blood out of them. Well, you have vision vampires out of there, and what they do is they suck the life out of your vision. And there's really about 10 of them, but we don't have time to go through all 10, so I picked like 3 to go over, 3 or 4 to go over today. But the solution that we'll go over will fit for all 10. But vision vampires, sometimes that vision vampire is you. But there's also people around you. It could be family, friends, people that are close to you. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe it's a supervisor. Maybe it's a cousin. But they're all around you. And if you want that vision to come to pass, you have to learn how to slay those vision vampires. Okay? So I'm just going to give a couple here. You have what I call lazy leaders. So you might be in a position where you're running a small business, and maybe you have that number 1, number 2 person that you're depending on, and maybe their work ethic is not where they need to be. You need that person to be as strong as you are as far as work ethic. I call those people lazy leaders, not willing to put in the work to improve their leadership skills. Maybe from a technician standpoint. Let's say it's a barbershop. Maybe they can cut hair really good, but you need more than that. You need that person in a leadership capacity. And they're just not trying to learn leadership skills and not really on board with you. We call those lazy leaders because it's not about ability. It's about their work ethic. The number 2, we call them negative news givers. These are like the melancholy people. Melinda Zamora. Oh, Melinda Zamora. Really appreciate you coming on. Rick Torres. Really appreciate you coming on. Melinda and I have a history, and we will use the rest of this session talking about Melinda and Linda and everybody in Austin, Texas. I worked with an organization for 20 years. So, I mean, tremendous relationships, tremendous respect for Melinda. So thank you. Thank you for coming on, Melinda. So We also have another group called negative news givers, and basically what they do is they seem to relish in the negativity of the organization. You know, those kind of people, they just kind of like always saying the negative stuff. You could have a successful business making millions of dollars, and they're going to find the things that are wrong. They could be getting great checks. They're able to take care of their family, but they're always finding the negative news in whatever it is in that organization. And they just speaking to all these different people. So, oh, Melinda, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Melinda said that we'll work together. This where you're gonna make me cry, Melinda. You know, I can't cry on camera. I'm a dude. I'm a man. So don't, anyway. So anyway, you got also another group that I wanted to highlight, and maybe let me get this over here. Another group I wanted to highlight is hubristic humans. Now, these are the people, they know all the answers. They know all the answers. They don't listen to, they don't want to listen to anyone. And their most frequent response is, I know. Oh, yeah, I know. But when you look at their fruit, when you look at their productivity, when you look at their work, it doesn't match up with that I know. So I call them hubristic humans. Lastly, I would say this last one, then we'll move on, is congenial commanders. These are people that avoid confrontation, but the problem is they're in leadership positions. I can't remember who it was. I want to think it was the guy that passed away that used to run Apple, Jobs. But I think he said if you want to avoid confrontation, make ice cream and give it away to people, because you're going to have confrontation when you're in a leadership position. So congenial commanders, those are leaders who fear confrontation. They rather live in perceived harmony, because they don't want to deal with any confrontation. So those are the vision killers. Kisa, appreciate you coming in, Kisa. The lion. Kisa's the lion. Kisa is the lion. So I appreciate Kisa coming in again and coming from Washington. Appreciate it. So there's 10 of them, but because of time, and we're at 7:19 now, because of time, we're going to go into how do you slay them. So we know there's all different types. You have steadfast sojourners, you have dam diggers, you have emotional employees, you have culture killers, you have impartial individuals, and you have the selfish and satisfied. You have all these different people around you, and you're the person. And maybe you're the individual that's trying to get somewhere. Let's focus on that for a second. Maybe you're the individual that's trying to get somewhere. These people are still around you, So how do you slay those people? And it's simple. It's really simple to say. It's simple to say, but it's hard to do. And all it is that you have to focus. You have to focus. It's hard to beat anybody that is focused. Now, of course, at Elevate, we believe in acronyms. I would say Elevate is brought to you by an acronym every week. So focus is twofold. The F stands for you must face reality. And this is a key one. Facing reality is looking at your present day situation. What are your challenges? What are your opportunities? What are your strengths? And just being honest with yourself and saying, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. And then moving forward. You have to face reality. Now, I know you would think that, that's easy. Most people don't face reality. I just had a meeting with a young guy and we did an assessment, and I know the gentleman, and he gave himself 8, 9s, and 10s on everything. And the honesty, there is some 8, 9s, and 10s with this gentleman, but majority of his scores are probably 3 and 4 because he has a different perception of himself. And I always like to see what other people think, other leaders, and other leaders agree with me. I mean, most of the time, if you're on point, you're going to have, other people going to agree with you. So the first one is face reality. Face reality. So I don't know if y'all can hear Kai in the background. Kai is in it right now. Kai is in it in his video game back there. So the O is objectives must be priority. They got to be. What is it that you're trying to get done? How are you going to get it done? That has to be the priority. Most of the time, when you go into organizations, the objectives, especially organizations that are not performing at a high level, the objectives are just not priority. They're third, fourth, fifth on the list. So they need to be one. And I remember reading this article And this guy was talking about speeches, and he was talking about, how there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. And the guy he was teaching, he said, well, what's more important? Is it the beginning, or is it the middle, or the end? And the guy said, oh, it's the beginning. The beginning is the most important part of a speech, no doubt. That's when you're going to draw everybody in. That first 7 to 10 seconds, that's when you get them. That's the most important. He said, oh, okay, that's the most important part, the beginning? He said, yeah, the beginning. And then he said, okay. He said, the middle. The middle's the number one, the most important part. Oh, it's the middle. He said, yeah, the middle. That's where your content is. That's when you really give them the information to succeed. The middle is number one. He says, oh, okay, so is the middle number one? He said, yeah, the middle. He said, okay, middle's number one. Okay. He said, the end is number one. The end is number one. It's the most important part. He says, oh, it's not the middle, it's the end. He said, yeah, the end is the most important part. He says, oh, okay, because the end is where you summarize everything. That's when they're getting ready to leave. You try to give them something to walk away with. The end. He said, so which is? He said, all of it. The beginning, the middle, and the end is number one. And that's how it is when you're trying to do stuff. You can't just pick one thing out. There's a lot of things that have to be number one. And those objectives, you're going to be probably 3 or 4 of them that'll get you there. They're all number one. And you got to make it happen. Number 3 is C. And this is the one I like, because this is what I'm kind of wired to do. And it's consistently fight. That means, and I know those that are successful, because we've got a lot of successful people on this phone call. And it would take too long to call you all out, but you guys know who you are. And you know what I mean by this. Consistently fight. I'm talking about day in and day out. Day in and day out. Consistently fight. That means that you're fighting for those objectives. That means you're communicating with your people every day. That means you're having those one-on-one coachings. You're doing the growth thing where expectations are being set. Accountability might not be a write-up. It's just the conversation. Hey, what's going on? I need more. You're giving me about 80, but I need 100. So those kind of conversations. But day in, day out, that dog in you. And so consistently fight. In the program, there's a poem that we share that's very, very, very good, but we got 6 minutes, y'all, so can't be reading poetry on the call right now. And then the one I love the most, because it took a while for me to get this, and it's understand human nature. You have to understand human nature. You're not going to win that fight. They call it human nature for a reason. It's been around ever since humans been around. So what you hear a lot of people do is they fight it, especially people in leadership. They fight it. That's right, Auntie Stephanie. I always got to make sure I say Auntie Stephanie, because on the screen it doesn't say Auntie Stephanie. It says Stephanie Harris. So I always have to stop and make sure, because Stephanie will call me. Auntie Stephanie will call me and tell me I didn't say Auntie Stephanie. So Auntie Stephanie, coaching is extremely important. That's true. So understanding human nature, very, very important, because you're not going to win that fight. What you got to do is use it to your advantage. So we try to put people in the best positions. I don't put a guy who's very good working with people in a position where he's in the corner working by himself, because I'm fighting human nature. Another big one you hear that is a kind of irks me a little bit, but is these people these days. These people these days are this. These people these days are that. Well, when you think about the job of a leader, what's the job of a leader that we talked about a couple sessions ago was to shape perspectives and to give hope. So if these people these days are this and that, then our job is to shape perspectives and give hope. There's millions of articles about how we're responsible for getting them where they need to be. No matter what happened in the home, no matter what happened in school, or whatever's lacking in the home or whatever's lacking in school. When they come into the workforce, now we're in charge. We're the leaders. So we shape perspectives and we give hope. So understanding human nature is very important. And then the S, see the end daily. See the end daily. And that's important because it's going to wear you out if you're not seeing that end. If you're not seeing that little bit of progression every day to keep you charged up as you keep fighting every day, and you keep seeing your team come a little bit together, a little bit at a time, that if you're not continually looking at what you're trying to do at the end, it can wear you out. It's very important that you see the end daily. So we also do a thing called E.L.E.V.A.T.E Church. But one of the famous, everything in the Bible is famous, but one of the famous scriptures is that he said he saw the end. And that's what kept him doing what he wanted to do, because he saw the end. So very important to see the end daily. So focus, face reality. Objectives must be priority. consistently fight, understand human nature, and see the end. That's how you beat, or that's how you slay vampires. I promise you, it works. I've been doing it for years, and the people that are on this call, they've done it too. They might not have called it focus, but that's what they did. They did those things. So definitely want to kind of go over our next few sessions because we're nearing the end. Ambrose, appreciate you coming on. I wanted to go over the next one. The next session is going to be called, What Do You Do When You Fail Miserably? There's failure, and then there's failing miserably. What do you do when you fail miserably? That's going to be the next one. After that, making the most out of conflict. After that, we have the secret weapon to creating cultures. Another one is going to be called If I Was a Superhero. And that's my new favorite because I don't need to run faster than a locomotive or bullets bounce off my chest. If I was a superhero, there's about 2 or 3 things, and that's what we're going to share about in that. The next one is called the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse when it goes into relationships. 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And then another one is going to be the 5 Stages of a New Leader. So that kind of gives you the idea of the upcoming weeks. So please, please, please like and share so we don't have to bring the bell out. So like and share. So that's how we make it. I really hope people go on to the site and there's free strategy sessions. We got a text from somebody last week or maybe the week before. I encourage people that have questions like that to sign up for the free strategy sessions because Rick Torres, I love that. And he says, as a leader, nobody owes you anything, but you owe everything to others. Oh, I love that. I love that because I remember I'm going to say this real quick, but Blue Bloods, one of my favorite shows. Blue Bloods is a cop show. Tom Selleck is the father. He's the police commissioner, and one of his sons is a police officer. And he was holding his son accountable. And he says, man, so you holding me more accountable than the others. And he says, exactly, because you're a leader. You're part of this family. Yes, it's not going to be fair. We got to do more. And there's a thing for those that really like getting in that kind of stuff. It's a thing called the Paradoxical Commandments. I know I shared it with my son. He loved it. It's the Paradoxical Commandments, but it's very interesting. If you Google that, you'll see a lot. You'll see a lot in there. Appreciate it, Alex. So please don't forget to like and share and to meet us next week. I really appreciate you guys making the time. I know that you could have done a lot of other things. You could have been doing a lot of other things. I really appreciate you coming on. And those of you that every single week come on, man, I really, really appreciate that. And we're coming up with some gifts for some people here. We can't tell you what it is yet, but we're coming up with some gifts and some visits. And some of y'all already know we're going to visit some people here, but I mean, very appreciative. So if you got any questions, email us. Really appreciate you coming on, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.